If you just remember one thing from this video, just remember that everything happens for a reason and you'll be fine. If you just know that, if you just remember that everything happens for a reason, you clicked on this video for a reason, if you just remember that, you'll be fine. And the main thing about this is just letting go of things outside your control. And that's the main thing about being stoic and everything, is just these outside events can't control you. You can always control stuff which you can control, but these outside events which you have no control over, just let go of them. Just don't think about them. Don't even waste your time thinking about them, because what's the point? They'll just control you, and you can just let go. You can just save so much time, so much energy, be so much more successful if you just let these events just go. Just don't think about them. And I know I use this example every single time, but it's like me posting a YouTube video. It doesn't do well. What do I do about it? I respond and I just make a new video. I just do more stuff, that kind of thing. I can't control how well the video does after I post it. And it's also the case, let's say, if you place a bet on something, let's say you're at roulette wheel, you place a bet on something. What's the point worrying about it if you placed the bet already? What's the point? Just let it happen. It's not, there's no point thinking about it. And I know it sounds really simple saying this, but you really need to think about this. If you haven't heard about this concept before, just if it's outside your control, don't think about it. There's no point. There's no point stressing over it, because it will happen or it will not happen. And you got to prepare for each outcome. So prepare for the outcome and just don't think about the actual event. This other point might sound kind of like a paradox, but it's that the fact that you are 100% responsible for your mistakes, for the response to your mistakes, but you also need to separate your mistakes from yourself. And I'll explain it simply. What I mean by this is basically, let's say you failed something you tried really hard at. It could be a test in school, could be literally anything, could be fitness related, whatever. It happens. Just separate this from yourself and then learn to respond to it. As in, like, separate the mistake from yourself. You're not the mistake, but it is your fault if you don't respond well to this. It is 100% your fault if you don't respond by, let's say, you fail the test. It's 100% your fault if you don't respond by trying harder. It's 100% your fault if you don't reach your fitness target. It's 100% your fault if you don't respond well to this. There could be outside factors that mean that it was not necessarily your fault for this event happening, and that's linked to the thing I said before about it's outside your control. But what's in your control is the response. Always, 100% of the time, your response, you can always control the response. That's why it's your fault if you don't control the response 100% of the time. So yeah, just remember that. And the final little thought I just want to end on is really simple, and it's just that, what's the worst that can happen? And you can literally just say this to yourself. It's really useful saying it to yourself when it feels like everything's falling apart. What's the worst that can happen, literally? Like, what is the worst that can happen? Just ask yourself, just really think about it. Let's say you might overreact from something really bad happening in your life. I'm not saying bad things don't happen, obviously. I'm not saying traumatic things don't happen. I don't want to say that. All I'm saying is that sometimes we overestimate how much these things matter, and overestimate how important these things really are going to be in the long run. So just tell yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Just think about it in the grand scheme of things. What is the worst that can happen? And it just really helps with your stress and everything. So just ask yourself that. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.